I'm so glad that she went before me because now I have all this personal power. So I'm honored to be here today and to be a part of the vision that Christy had for Conscious Connection. And today I'm going to talk about water issues and what's being done to address these global water issues from organizations like the one that I represent, the Nature Conservancy. And then I'm going to give us some ideas of what we can do about it so we don't have a day without water. Recently, my husband and I went to Central California to visit some old friends, the giant sequoias. They're in the Sequoia National Park, and if you've never been there or never seen them, you need to go. It had been too long since I tried to wrap my arms around those giants that have lived for, some of them, as long as 3,000 years. And they were magical, but I also felt a bit of sadness because they're thirsty. And I was realizing that without us, with this extreme weather that we're experiencing, lack of rain and snow melt, that they're vulnerable. And so are we. Because right now we're all frightfully aware of the news and learning that those fires in central Arizona are just devastating. And so we need to think about not only the firefighters and the people who are losing their homes, but we need to think about the animals and the trees and the birds that are also impacted. I work for the Nature Conservancy. We're the largest nonprofit conservation organization in the world. We're a huge, well-kept secret. So we work in all states and on 5 continents. We collaborate. We don't litigate. We work with everyone. We don't stop growth. We protect the lands and waters on which all life depends. We used to protect nature from people, but now we protect nature for people. So now let's talk about water. It's a scarce resource. Of all the water on this beautiful blue planet, less than 1% is usable for you and I. So 0.03% is what we have for our consumption, for growing our food, and for raising animals. And we're in the midst of a global water crisis, and there are 2 contributing factors. The first is climate change, which is causing the intensification of extreme weather. We're all seeing it in the news. California and Arizona are in an extreme drought, and we're seeing water levels in places like Lake Mead drop to very low levels. If we drop below 1,000 feet in Lake Mead by January, we're going to be experiencing rationing. And currently the level is 1,035 feet. The second contributing factor is overuse. The Earth has the same amount of water that it has always had, and the human population is growing from 7 billion to 9 billion, all with the same amount of water. The Nature Conservancy in Arizona is primarily working on the issue of overuse, particularly on our 3 rivers, the San Pedro, the Verde, and the Colorado. If we can keep these rivers flowing, then our children and grandchildren still have a chance. If we can keep these 3 rivers flowing, 4 million birds can continue to migrate through Arizona from South America to Canada. If we can keep these rivers flowing, then we'll still be able to raft the Great Colorado River. Let me give you an example of how we work. Kim Schoenig one of our staff members came to the Nature Conservancy 6 years ago, and she was given the job to put more water in the river. And so what she did is she got kayaks, and she and her friends went down the Mardi River. Turns out this was before the monsoon, and they walked their kayaks for 5 miles because there was no water in the Mardi. And it was a very bad day for Kim and her friends, and they still refuse to kayak with her to this day. But she learned something valuable. She learned who was taking more water than they needed, and then she came up with solutions and found funding sources so that they could put more water in the river. And now, let's see, there are 10 cubic feet per second in 20 miles of the river, and she's just getting started. And so that's equivalent to about 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools per day. These are the kind of collaborative, interesting solutions that the Nature Conservancy provides. So in the case of water management in the West, we're in good hands. Everybody's looking at Arizona. We've done a better job managing our water in Arizona than California, but there's still much reason for concern. 1 in 10 Americans gets our water from the Colorado River, and Phoenix is the largest user, and we have the lowest priority use on Colorado. So what can we do? 1, make your yard mimic the desert. So it's not in conflict with nature, but in harmony. I see a lot of nods on that one. You know what? I can do a better job of that myself, so please don't think I'm preaching at you. Take short showers. Just try to reduce your own water footprint. And then I invite you to join the Nature Conservancy. You can join at any level, but if you're interested and inspired, we created a program just for women that love the environment. And it's for women that contribute $1,000 or more annually. And we do all these really cool things, like take hikes in places that you'd never get to go to otherwise. And number 3, as we're focusing on our own consciousness and self-awareness, include nature in that. I think about what nature provides for us. And it's so much. And so when I think of nature, I think of it as an underserved community that really doesn't have a voice unless we provide it. So why should we care? One of the reasons we should care is that if we don't have water, we're not going to have growth. Now, yes, we'll always have water, but at what cost will that water be? I encourage you to be advocates for the environment and our precious resource, water. There are membership flyers on the tables and some little flowers you can plant in your garden. Our collective involvement and our conscious connections can prevent the day without water. Our efforts, our kindness will provide our children and grandchildren the opportunity to raft the Colorado River or to wrap your arms around a giant sequoia. Remember, good planets are hard to find.